You can't be logically based on all over what to be calm still. Okay, let's keep it 100. I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and was hit with a little bit of irritation, hit with a little bit of anger, frustration over a dog, man. Because I'm about to be getting a dog. I'm about to get a. It's a Cane Corso American mix, some. And see what's to the dog, but kind of the way that the person was talking to me concerning this dog was it wasn't to my liking. So yeah, but and then I was like, well, I can't get on the live mad, but yes, I can because I'm coming as I am. So I need the word of God. So that was the first thing I thought. Like I need to read. Then I thought I need to read with them because I can read by myself, but this shows the process. So if somebody was to be like, oh, that's this sad. If somebody was to be like they don't think they could talk to nobody about Jesus, or they don't think they should read because of how they feeling or the state they in, but they know this is not how God wants them to act. Like, no, God said, come as you are. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm blue right now. I'm angry. No, I'm not angry. I'm a little frustrated, but we finna get into the lie. And then, yeah, that's about it. And I'm dropping some more songs today. I'm gonna be dropping a lot of music this month, though. Let's get right into the prayer. Lord and Heavenly Father, I praise and thank you for waking us up this morning. I pray and ask you keep us covered over in the blood of Jesus as we go to and come forth. I pray and ask that as we read, you allow the Spirit of the Holy Ghost to be felt strongly in every place, to uproot wicked seeds in our heart, to enroot righteous seeds, and that the word begins to wash us by every letter we see, and that we be filled with more of Christ's wisdom, more of Christ's understanding, more of Christ's character, more of Christ's personality, more of Christ's desires, more of Christ's mindset, more of Christ's passion, more of Christ's obedience, more of Christ's hatred of sin, hatred of evil, and more of Christ's seriousness for the mission, more of Christ's ability to submit to your will, your word, and your way, more of Christ's actions to honor your word, more of Christ's intelligence, more of Christ's integrity, more of Christ's ability to understand the word in simplicity, so simple that you can teach it, preach it, and speak it to a babe, and they'll be able to understand it without lacking any of the truth, any of the depth, or any of the power. And we praise and thank you that all we ask for is being filled in us and shown through us in our fruits on earth as it is in heaven, more now than a second ago, more today than yesterday, more when we awake than when we went to sleep, and every time our heart beat. And we praise and thank you for a consistent, abundant increase of such a thing. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen. Okay, we in it. I don't know if I'm gonna do a song because it's a morning time. I want to try to get in the word and stay in the word like consistently. So, I think we should do more word than music. But sometimes music starts the day off. So let me first off fix this share screen thing. I'm gonna just do the whole. I'm gonna just do the whole screen right now. Share. Boom. So this how I used to do the Bible readings, like just do the whole screen. No, we're gonna play a song. We're gonna play a song. Uh, I know that they think it I'm crazy from one of my songs. Hand away from me so you can right my wrong. I ain't really on my own. I'm only flexible. You gotta keep this armor on and got it on. I pray for my friends. I hope that one day they will see you. Be the mercy on their soul to save them from this evil. Get them out their comfort zone. Let them know what's going on. And every day with trumpets blown. No. I feel great. I ain't gonna lie. Woo! Shout out Sister Nikki. Glory be to God. Hold on. Let me switch this to the right one because I think this is the wrong one. I know that they different. I know that they think that I'm crazy from the things that I put in my songs. Oh, wrong one. Lord, just take the pen away from me so you could right my wrongs. I can't write them on my own. Lord, I'm only flesh and bone. You gotta put this armor on and guard your dome. Nah, nah, nah.
I know people think I'm crazy from the things that I put in my song. Lord, just take the pen away from me so you can right my wrongs. I can't write them on my own. Lord, I'm only flesh and bone. You gotta keep this armor on to guard your heart and guard your dome. I pray for my friends. I hope that one day they receive you. Please have mercy on their soul and save them from this evil. Let them know what's going on. Get them out their comfort zone. They don't need your righteousness, so they'll be safe when the trumpet's blown. I know that the year's approaching. Witches cooking up their potion. They hate me cause I'm outspoken. Wickedness out they exposing. Protected cause I'm God's chosen. But I'm just a bag of bones. Shout out my boy bag of bones. He gon' laugh when he hear this song. Serving Christ the highest calling. Pick me up, Lord, when I'm falling. Trey, you gotta put your all in. Just to bounce back like slaughter. Warfare on my ministry. Invisible enemies. Training on my energy. When I'm woken in my dreams. The world lost, they don't really have a clue. Please don't judge me cause I look different than you. Yeah, we equal, but we just got different views. A different teacher, I come from a different school. My teacher, the spirit of truth. Submit to the Lord, that's what you should do. It's not about money, it's not about loot. I'm telling you, they're speaking the truth like the gospel of Luke. You seeking the truth, then follow pursuit. Gotta walk in the light, and that's what we gon' do. I know the enemy just want my neck in the nose. But God on my side, so how can I lose? But who is this guy to get wisdom to fool? Jesus the Christ, the King of the Jews. He gave us the grace to walk in his shoes. He's stretching his hands, so don't I know people think I'm crazy from the things that I put in my song. Lord, just take the pen away from me so you can right my wrongs. I can't write them on my own. Lord, I'm only flesh and bone. You gotta keep this armor on. Guard your heart and guard your dome. I pray for my friends. I hope that one day they receive you. Please have mercy on their soul and save them from this evil. Let them know what's going on. Get them out their comfort zone. They don't need your righteousness, so they'll be safe when the trumpet's blown.
Nah. Did we pray already? We did. We did pray already. Ain't nothing wrong with 2 prayers. I might want to do a 2-song. I like how YouTube is keeping the strong story.
This religion versus reality, part 2 of real life.
Alright, but come to music. You feel fine. Quitters never win, but quit sinning. This religion versus reality, part 2 in real life. But it beats that's 15 minutes long, cause the way to kill time. You could be lying in the pool of blood, pitch from God to feel fine. They say quitters never win, but quit sinning, victory is mine. All I know is for the notebook making me see silence. Walking Christ the cloud today, he said we free right now. Breaking down my brain on that pair with them blue lines on. No cap. How truthful that them lessons that we learned came from liars. The first day that I breathed fresh air was the first day I start dying. I'm in a complex guy who got a simple way to sign up. All you do is give them your life and then your life just start rewinding. We was in debt when he purchased us, but the building been refinanced. I should have got in my music mode before I got on here. Because now I just want to dive in music. That's normally what I do, just play a bunch of music. We're on 12. I know that they think that I'm crazy in my songs. Lord, just take the pen away from me so you can't write my own. I can't do this on my own. Well, I'm on that flesh and bone. Gotta keep the armor on. Guard your heart, guard your dome. All right, we in it. Let me get little. Is my face in the way? No. All right. 2 Samuel 12, verse 1. And the Lord said, Nathan, and the Lord sent Nathan, and the Lord sent Nathan unto Daniel. I knew I was finna mess it up. I was trying not to say Daniel. I promise. I knew I was looking at David, and I knew I was finna say Daniel, and I tried to stop it. And the Lord sent Nathan unto David. He came unto him and said unto him, there were 2 men in one city, the one rich and the one poor. Sound like I'm finna make a song out of this. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing, save one little ear lamb which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat and drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came with verse 4, 2 Samuel 12, verse 4. And y'all, if y'all ever want to know what book we on or where we at, it's right here. And it's oh, you can't see it, it's mad tiny. But it should be right here, like where this yellow part at. But it's too tiny, I'll make it bigger. But we back. Boom. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him. But took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, as the Lord liveth, the man that have done this thing shall surely die. You know why I can't swear that's against the Bible? I changed my mind. And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. If y'all didn't remember, if y'all lost from what happened yesterday, we basically found out David backdoored Uriah, man. I'm going to make that somebody can do it if God put it on your heart, but I'm going to make it a short film about a modern day David, Uriah, and instead of it being war, it's going to be ops. But David going to be following God, but I guess he just got in the flesh for a second. I don't know, but I'm going to make that when God give me the full idea. I'm going to take this here beauty right here, this little gorgeous thing God blessed me with, and we finna put a whole lot of this into the flesh to see. That's also been put on my heart. Let's keep going, though. To thy wife. Verse 11, right here. 2 Samuel, verse 11, though. Oh, no, it's not going to stay like that. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house. Now, people say God has no correlation to evil. Like, he's never, because I guess they don't want to believe that God has used evil spirits or allowed evil on purpose, like, because it is from him. Like, Satan didn't say, hey, let me do this. God was like, no, I'm going to do this. So you can put this in your notes as you can question mark it, because sometimes that's what I do. I save my notes as a question, like, is God using evil? You can put that in your notes and get deep revelation on it. But let me reread it. Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thy own house. I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun. It's a lot going on here. It's a lot going on here. It's just character of God. Verse 11, 2 Samuel. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it in here. Hold up. Let me go full screen so we can all see what I'm doing. The first day I start dying, I met a complex guy who got a simple way to sign up. All you do is give him your life, and then your life just start rewinding. He was in debt I was in debt when he purchased us, but the building been refinanced. So I'm putting 2 Samuel 12. 2 Samuel 12 and 11. 2 Samuel 12, 11. The character of the Heavenly Father. That's what just hit my brain to put on there. Boom. If you want to mark that in your personal notes, you can. I'm gonna mark it in mine. I'm gonna get a pen. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. back. Okay. My fault. I'm gonna write that down though. Not on this paper. This okay. So I can't. This is my personal note, y'all. I'm sorry. I just can't miss it. 2 Samuel 12:11. I normally put this in my notes, and that's another thing. If you guys take notes, y'all should put them in y'all if you got an iPhone, or I guess if you got a Droid, but if you got an iPhone, you should put them in your notes. So when you go to the top and somebody asks you a question, or you gotta, you showing yourself approval, or you giving somebody an answer, you don't even gotta type in the whole thought. I just type in God, and it's all of my notes, and I could just search on certain topics. So I like to do that myself. And then yeah, correct. I spelled character wrong. Why y'all didn't tell me? Of the Heavenly Father. All right, we back in. I ain't trying to waste too much time. I wrote it down. All right, we back. There we go. Boom, of the Son. Verse 12. For thou did it secretly, but I will do these things before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die. Now, this whole 11 through 13 is so realistic. Now, that's what we're going to put. That's what we're going to put in the chat. Because the whole point of this is to get people to see how relevant the Bible is to their real life today. This ain't just no old story that's only useful for thousands of or hundreds of years ago. This literally relates to your life and the spirits and the character as such. So we're going to do 2 Samuel 12, 11 through 13. The reality of the Bible in your life. I typed it this time. All right. 14. Howbeit by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme. The child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. Basically, God's saying, I'm gonna give this child the breath of life just to take it away as a form of punishment. And people will say, well, why would he do that? Well, God is basically saying, I'm finna take this child from heaven, give it to you, and bring it right back to heaven. It's not gonna get a chance to sin. It's coming there and coming back. So God really being nice, to be honest. 15, and Nathan departed unto his house, and the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick. David therefore besought God for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. And the elders of his house arose and went to him to raise up from the earth, but he would not, neither did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on the seventh day that the child died, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead, for they said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto the servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. Verse 20. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. Then said his servants unto him, What thing is this that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread. He said, While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, Who can tell whether God will be gracious to me that the child may live? Basically saying God gonna change his mind by killing his kid. But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. And David comforted, basically saying he could see his dead body, but it ain't gonna be no reaction, to keep it simple. And David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and went in unto her sex and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon, and the Lord loved him. His first baby out of wickedness. Run his back, right? David, this is the reality and character of God. So if you want, you could just mark the whole 2 Samuel 12, the character of God. And character of God and reality of life. Boom. You can just put that in your notes and then go deeper in detail when you want. But if you pay attention, Bathsheba, basically David backdoored his homie who was over loyal to him for his girlfriend, right? And he ended up having sex with his girlfriend. Now God say, because you did all of this, I'm going to do this to you. And basically y'all first child is going to die. But look at God, their second child is till this day the wisest king on earth. From Bathsheba, his homie's girlfriend, who he backdoored. You see the reality? Like, can you see how this ties into like real life and the character of God? Because the average person today that says God is about love and God is about peace, if you told them this without mentioning the name David, if you replace David with a different name and was like, well, you know, God could basically take Jerome's wife and give it to Tyson, and Tyson was king, and raise him up a king to be the best king of the world. And somebody will argue with you that God would never do that. So the Old Testament is really showing the characteristics of God. And then he comes in the flesh to show that. You see me? So let's keep reading. And the Lord loved him. We are on 25. He sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Jedediah because of the Lord. And he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Jedediah. And Joab fought against Rabbi of the children of Ammon and took the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to David and said, I have fought against Rabbi and have taken the cities of water. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people together and went to Rab and fought against it and took it. And he took their king's crown from off his head. That's gangster. The weight whereof was a talent of gold with the precious stones, and it was set on David's head. And he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance. And he brought forth the people that were therein and put them under saws and under harrows of iron and under axes of iron, and made them pass through the brickland. And thus did he unto all the cities of the children of Ammon. So David and all the people returned unto Jerusalem. Okay. Make sure we all got an understanding on 12. Oh my gosh. What is this? I'm sorry. Y'all see that coat? This hard. I want this. I like that. This, whatever this is, I need it. But anybody in the chat? I know. We're going to the next one. I'm going to get that coat though. 2 Samuel 13. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister. Fair meaning cute, or today in modern day terms, bad. Now, if it's older people on here, I don't mean to keep making it modern, but the young, I'm not saying the older people don't matter, but the young are the ones coming new into the faith. So I'm trying to make it as simplistic and as modern to where they can understand completely and bring into that connection before they start the bond. Thank you. I'm trying to cut off confusion. God just keep giving me simple stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to cut off confusion. As much confusion as they say the Bible brings to beginners. So, and it came to pass that after this, that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair or bad sister whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And it came to pass that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister who was Tamar. So David's son had a sister who's David's daughter, who was bad, and his other son loved her. Incest. From what God said he was going to do. From what God was going to allow, basically. You know? And Ammon was so vexed. These are spirits. So when God, I want you to pay attention to this as well. God is moving everything through spirits. And he shows that early on. Now, I'm not gonna get too deep because we need to just keep reading. But early on, back when David was playing the harp for Saul, God is basically showing you how your feelings and your state of being changes based on the spirits that are either on you, around you, like that. And music can move the spirits, but everything that you feel, Aaron was so vexed. Everything that you feel is from spirit. So if you just suddenly get a mood change, like this morning, the spirit of irritation and frustration hit me over that dog. These are spirits, but once you identify them, I plead the blood of Jesus against the spirit of anger. Plead the blood of Jesus against the spirit of fear. Plead the blood of Jesus against the spirit of irritation. Plead the blood of Jesus against the spirit of frustration. I kind of claim Christ's peace. I kind of claim Christ's, what do they call it? Christ's humbleness, Christ's silence, Christ's ability to be cool, to be still. And then that's a form of warfare without you feeling like it's aggressively warfare, just simple things. You ain't gotta, I play the blood of Jesus against. It's simple. It's just keep it true, keep it genuine. Let's keep reading. And we're on 2 Samuel 13, verse 2. And Ammon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Ammon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Ammon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother. And Jobab was a very subtle man. Let's not forget that God gives you your appearance. So God made his sister beautiful on purpose. You know? Now, Ammon, and let's look at the reality. My job is to help break down the reality. So you can understand, this is not a religion. This is reality. This is a way of life. This is life. God gave her this appearance. Now, she's not knowing this as she's growing up and as she's, living life. That God, before I got here, God gave me this appearance for the sole purpose of my brother to find me attractive, to do these things to me, to hurt my father, and then restore. But to some people, they think God is bad for doing that. But this is the character of God. This is the reality of who we serve. He is God, the Almighty God. He can do whatever he pleases, have mercy on who he has mercy on, and whatever he does is just. Right? I'm just keeping the reality in the situation, right? Let's not forget that we got to look at this with the reality. Like literally in the last chapter, he just said what he was going to do. In this chapter, you see it, but God is the only one that creates. So God gave her this appearance. God gave her looks on purpose, meaning you look the way you look on purpose. But let's keep reading. To do anything to her. He was a supple man. We're on verse 4. And he said unto him, why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? If you know what lean means, somebody in the chat tell me. Lean from day to day. Wilt thou not tell me? And Ammon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Alba's sister. Oh, they might not have the same mom, though. Well, I don't know. I think they all David's children. My brother Alzmon's sister. I could be wrong, but I think they all David. They got to all be David's children. I believe so. And Joab said, because he had multiple wives, so it might not have been David's exact. No, it had to be David. David had to be the father, right? Yeah, David had, because she just got born. David had to be the father. Okay. Yeah, I think David's the dad. We'll find out though. And Joab said, I read this book many times, but like I said, when you go into a backslide and you get into the world and you get back into the Bible, certain stuff is you just gotta, that's why it's important to read, even if you're 50, 60, 40 in the pastor. You just gotta stay reading the Bible, the full Bible, all the time. And Joab said unto him, verse 5, and Joab said unto him, lay thee down on the bed and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat at her hand. So Ammon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Ammon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come, make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, go now to thy brother Ammon's house and dress him meat. So Tamar went to her brother Ammon's house, and he was laid down. And she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. She took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Ammon said, have out of all men from me. And they went out every man from him. Verse 10, 2 Samuel 13, verse 10. And Ammon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber that I may eat of thy hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them into the chamber to Ammon, her brother. Now, in real life, because we're reading it off a website and off paper, but in real life, I'm pretty positive she felt the spirits. You can feel the eeriness, just like in real life. You can feel something ain't right, but you just ignore it, like, eh. But I'm pretty positive because them spirits are strong on her brother. It's the spiritual comes out physically, so you can feel it and not see it yet, like everybody else. Let's keep reading verse 11. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her and said unto her, come lie with me, my sister. And she said, and she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. No such thing ought to be done in Israel, meaning what? Incest. So this is basically saying for the people who are going to have the situation that's going to debate, like, God is okay with the incest that's happening in the Bible. Somewhere along the line, they established in Israel that you shouldn't be laying with your brother, your mother, your cousin, your uncle, and your ancient ancestors. You know? Do not thou this folly. Keep reading. Verse 13. Let me check the chat real quick. Thinner. What version of the Bible that is you got? Because we're going to read. That's another thing I'm doing on here. We're reading all versions. We're going to get into all versions. I'm going to get the Hebrew, the all translations. We're reading everything. We're comparing everything. This is going to be the official Bible reading. Like, officially, there's not going to be a Bible we don't read that has Jesus in it. Not saying we're finna read the Muslims' Bible and all that, but any version of the Holy Bible that we can see, we're going to read, we're going to compare, and then we're going to say, this, this, and we're going to read everything. But sis, what Bible that is you got? That's the New King. That's the New King James version. Because I know GCP, me and him was just reading the New King James version, and he had said little things different than mine. Let's keep reading. 13. And whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Howbeit he would not hearken to her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. He raped her. And I guess she was saying that David would give her to him. So I don't know if this was David's daughter. Is it? I believe it is. From my remembrance, I believe this is David's daughter. Or did one of his wives already have children? And is this one of his wives' daughter from a previous relationship, or one of them stepped out or something? And then these are David's sons, and they're all in the family. It's like a step brother sister thing. We're gonna keep reading to see. Then Ammon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her with was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Ammon said unto her, arise, be gone. So in modern day terms, he's basically he set up this plan, told his sister to slide his blood. Or I don't know, y'all. Yeah, I believe it's, or I don't know if they're blood. I don't know if they bonded by blood, but his blood brother, his sister, he told her slide. She came over, he nailed, and as soon as he got irritated with her. In real life, a lot of people can relate. After a sexual encounter, sometimes the person you had this sexual encounter with, your feelings instantly change, like as soon as it's over and you're ready for them to leave. So in modern day times, that's exactly what's his name? Ammon did. But it's his sister or his brother's sister. And that arise, be gone is basically him saying, so what you finna do? Or you can call your Uber, or when you leaving. Like, are you ready to go? And she said unto him, there is no cause. This evil is sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken to her. So she basically like, you just took my virginity. You could at least allow me to lay here with you and go to sleep. Like, we done already did it. But you trying to kick me out, like, that hurt more than you even raping me. Like, you my whole brother. Like, not only did you just try to get intimate with me, I can't even lay here and just like process everything and try to fight it or try to accept it. You just gonna kick me right out. It's not like I've been having sexual encounters. You just took my virginity, bro. This is modern day times, right? Let's keep reading. Then he called his servants that ministered unto him and said, put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her. Basically, he called his homies and was like, hey, get her out of my crib and lock the door on the way out. Modern times, just making the connection. 18. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters. The king's daughters. So yes, this is David's daughter, I believe. I don't know if it's a step there. We're gonna see if it's by blood. I believe it is by blood, because God said his own house. But that could also mean him and his wives. They're one house. We don't know if these wives already had children, because most of these women probably were other people's women, knowing David. So we don't know if they were with child. We don't know. But I believe it does tell us, because if I remember, so let me keep reading. Check the chat real quick. Okay, that's fine. Let's keep reading. And she had a garment, okay, after her, boom. Verse 19, 2 Samuel 13:19. And Tamar put ashes on her head and rent her garment of diverse colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head and went on crying. So we know women are emotional, most women. So she basically just start, she don't know how to deal with this in modern times. That's like a woman. It's almost like a heartbreak. 20. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, hath Ammon thy brother been with thee? Behold now thy peace, my sister, he is thy brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother's Absalom's house. So the other brother, now I'm for sure this is his blood sister. She's in his house now. I'm trying to see, is she blood to Ammon, or is this like a step brother type thing? But I'm pretty sure, and either way it goes, these spirits are still here, where people are interested in having sex with their step brother or step sister, step cousin. All this is not new. It's nothing new under the sun. But when King David heard of these things, he was very wroth, and I bet you he went back to what God told him. So he was probably mad because it's all real. He was probably mad because God didn't stop it. Because once you get so close to God, certain things you can say to God. Like when God decided on something, it's decided. But you can talk to, he's like your friend. So you can talk to him like, God, I plead your mercy of the court. Like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you sure you can't change it? Like, we've been through so much. Like, you don't, and God might listen to you. It's similar with Moses and the people. When God and Moses talking, like once you develop a certain connection, it's like a certain person only, how you got a certain relationship with certain people, but out of your group of friends, it's probably that only one friend you'll listen to because you're closer than most. Or he can possibly change your mind, like possibly, or make you dim it down. Like he can make you think about it or consider it. When other people, you ain't trying to hear it, 22. And Absalom spake to his brother Ammon, neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Ammon because he had forced his sister Tamar. And it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baslan, which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold, now thy servant has sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech thee, and his servants go with thy servant. And the king said to Absalom, nay, my son, let us not all now go, lest we be chargeable unto thee. And he pressed him, howbeit he would not go, but blessed him. Verse 26. Then said Absalom, if not, I pray thee, let my brother Ammon go with us. And the king said unto him, why should he go with thee? I think David know what's going on, because your kids. So I'm pretty sure David like, my son finna try to kill my son, man. And my son just raped my daughter, man. And these definitely got to be my kids, because I killed my homie for their mama. They probably don't even know their mama is my homie girlfriend. And he probably like, God, what did I do, man? So he probably like, why, son? Why do you want Ammon to go with you? But Absalom pressed him like, dad. So he probably like, dad, let him come with us. He probably pressed the issue like, bro, you got right. Let's keep reading. Now Absalom, but impressed him that he let Ammon and all the king's sons go with him. So David like, okay, David probably know this got everything to do with God. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now when Ammon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite Ammon, then kill him. Fear not. Have I not commanded you? Be courageous and valiant. In my heart, not in my heart, in my mind, it's connecting me to violence. Like valiant is kind of connecting me to violence. So we finna look it up real quick. Hold on, let me share the full. Red, my boy. Much love. Let me I'm finna change the share screen window. No, I'm gonna do entire screen. Share entire screen. Boom. All right. This where that coat supposed to be at, y'all. I know we off topic. That coat $31.40. We getting that coat. Look at that coat. Hey, I might just put y'all on. I might just put y'all on with some winter sauce. Look at that coat, man. Find your way. Find your own way. No, we gotta edit that. Yeah, that look nice. Look nice. Ooh, that look nice. Get back on track. Back on track, man. No, that coat hard, y'all. If y'all wanna, hey, it's called T-Mole. I don't know. T-Mole. They got one with fur, no fur, and coat's hard. Right? Billion. Possessing or showing courage or determination. I don't know where I got violence from. But yeah, that's what valiant mean, right? We back to it. Hold on. Let me switch this back to what it was just on. Boom. We back. Billion. All right, everybody. 2 Samuel 13:29. And the service of Absalom did unto Ammon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's son. I can't wait to capture this on camera in modern day times as a short film, a movie, and TV show. That's gonna be so powerful, bro. It's gonna be so many people that understand like we are real life still living the Bible. Let me keep reading though. Right. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man got him upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass while they were in the way that tidings came to David saying, Absalom has slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. Wait, I thought this was just for Ammon. Did I miss something? Red, Nikki, y'all tell me if I missed something. Hold on. Back in 28. Now Absalom had commanded his servant, saying, Mark ye now, when Ammon's heart is full of Mary, when I say unto you, smite and kill him, fear not, I have commanded you. And the servants that Absalom did unto Ammon as Absalom commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man got upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass while they were in the way, the tidings came to David, saying, Absalom has slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. So they probably thinking all of the kings are dead. Maybe that's what happened, because I'm thinking only Ammon is dead, and the rest got up on their mule and got out of there. So like real life, they probably came to the scene, saw him dead, and was like, oh, Ammon killed them all. I mean, Absalom, I want to say his name right. Absalom. That's about what it is. Absalom. We finna see real quick. Absalom. We finna see real fast. Absalom. Pronunciation. It is Absalom. Yep, it's Absalom. Absalom has slain all the king's sons, and there was not one of them left. 31. I'm going to read that in a second. 31. Then the king arose and tear his garments and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. And Jobadad, the son of Shema, David's brother, answered and said, let not my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's sons, for Ammon only is dead. That's what I was thinking. Thank you, Jonadab. I was thinking the same thing. Only Ammon is dead. For only Ammon is dead. I feel like I'm there. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm with David and all of them right now. Like I'm at the table talking to. Like I think only Ammon dead, David. I don't know about the other ones, right? For by the appointment of Absalom, this had been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. So he been plotting to spin the block on on Ammon for a minute. Now, therefore, let not my lord the king take the thing to his heart to think that all the king's sons are dead, for only Ammon is dead. Okay, so like I said, this is just like real life. People probably seen it like, oh my gosh, all the kids are dead, and then you finally check it out like, no, it's only one dead kid, and everybody else still alive. But the one who did the nasty crap, he's dead. But now you have a rapist son, a traumatized daughter, and a murderer in your family. These are some crazy spirits, and you yourself are lustful, and you a murderer. And this is the man of God. You gotta, Solomon has some siblings, boy. Solomon has some siblings for sure. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hillside behind him. And Jonadab said unto the king, behold, the king's sons come as thy servant said, so it is. And it came to pass as soon as he had made an end of speaking that, behold, the king's sons came and lifted up their voice and wept. And the king also and all his servants wept very sore. But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Amminadab, king of Geshur, and David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur and was there 3 years. Much like in modern times, you kill somebody, you flee to another state for a couple years, and then try to sneak your way back. And the soul of King David longed to go forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Ammon, seeing he was dead. So I'm guessing that means he had came to terms that Ammon was dead, and he really just wanted his other son. He really was like, I really want to. I know my son is a murderer, but as a father, he's a murderer, so he can understand. I'm pretty sure, right? Let me check the chat. We're on 14. Yes, sir. We back. Now Joab, the son of Zeruiah, perceived that the king's heart was toward Absalom, and Joab sent to Tekoa and fetched thence a wise woman, and said unto her, I pray thee, feign thyself to be a mourner, and put on now mourning apparel, and anoint thyself with oil, but be as a woman that had a long time mourned for the dead, and come to the king and speak on this manner unto him. So Joab put the words to her mouth. Basically, I'm guessing he's trying to dress her up and basically make her come over to David and say a couple words. And when the woman attacked her and spake to the king, she fell on her face to the ground and did obeisance. We found out what that word was 2 lives ago. Obeisance. Bowed. That's what that means, like to bow down and give respect. And said, help, O king. And the king said unto her, what alive thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and my husband is dead. And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they 2 strode together in the field, and there was none to part them, but the one smote the other and slew him. So it was normal for brothers to be killing each other back then. This is crazy, man. All this backdoor stuff is like, that's been here. And behold, the whole family is risen against thy handmaid, and they said, deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him for the life of his brother whom he slew, and we will destroy the heir also. And so they shall quench my cord which is left, and shall not lead to my husband, neither name nor remainder upon the earth. And the king said unto the women, go to thine house, and I will give charge concerning thee. Verse 9, 2 Samuel 14. And the woman of Tekoa said unto the king, my lord, O king, the iniquity be on me and on my father's house, and the king at his throne be guiltless. And the king said, whoever saith aught unto thee, bring him to me, and he shall not touch thee any more. Then she said, I pray thee, let the king remember the Lord thy God, that thou wouldest not suffer the revenges of blood to destroy any more, lest they destroy my son. And he said, as the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of thy son fall to the earth. So that's how David used to merge, as the Lord liveth. Then the woman said, let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak one word unto my lord the king. And he said, say on. And the woman said, wherefore then hast thou thought such a thing against the people of God? For the king doth speak this thing as one which is faulty, in that the king doth not fetch home again his banished. For we must needs dying, and are as water split on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Neither doth God respect any person, yet doth he devise means that his banish be not expelled from him. That's powerful. Y'all could highlight that. Now, therefore, I am come to speak, verse 15. Now, therefore, I'm come to speak to this thing unto my Lord the King. It is because the people have made me afraid, and thy handmaid I will now speak unto the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaids. For the king will hear to deliver his handmaids out the hand of the man that will destroy me and my son together out of the inheritance of God. Then thy handmaid say, the word of my Lord the king shall be comfortable. For as an angel of God, so is my Lord the king to discern good and bad. Therefore the Lord thy God will be with thee. Verse 18. Then the king answered and said unto the woman, hide not from me, I pray, the thing that I shall ask thee. And the woman said, let my Lord the king now speak. And the king said, is not the hand of Joab with thee in all of this? He's a man of God, bro. So the character discernment is there. And the woman answered and said, as thy soul liveth, my Lord the king, none can turn to the right hand or to the left from aught that my Lord the king hath spoken. For the Lord, for thy servant Joab, he bade me and put all these words in my mouth of thy handmaid. To fetch about this form of speech hath thy servant Job done this thing, and my Lord is wise, according to the wisdom of an angel of God, to know all things that are in the earth. And the king said unto Joab, behold, now I have done this thing. Go therefore, bring the young man Absalom again. And Joab fell to the ground on his face and bowed himself and thanked the king. And Joab said, today thy servant knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight, my lord, O king, and that the king hath fulfilled the request of his servant. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. And the king said, let him turn to his own house and let him not see my face. So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. But in all Israel there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. So basically they saying he was cute. Or as in modern days, as they would say, he was fine. Oh, that's a handsome looking man. He's actually Denzel Washington, or something of that nature. So from the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him. So he was a good looking. So it seemed like that God gave David some beautiful kids, man. Like best looking in the country, right? So he's saying this man was like, his sister was like, yeah, and Absalom himself was like, yeah, right? 26. And when he pulled his head, for it was at every year's end that he pulled it, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he pulled it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. And unto Absalom there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. She was a woman of fair countenance, which means she was also a baddie. So I guess he had a daughter and named the daughter after his sister. Names mean a lot too. So if you have a daughter named Tamar, 9 times out of 10, she'll come out looking very, very nice looking. Like all the names, they got spirits connected to them too, because God just don't just be giving names. It's just like them. They didn't just give names to give names. Every name has a purpose. And it's spiritual and it manifests physically. Let's keep going though. So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face. So now I'm confused. Did the king want to see his son or he didn't want to see his son? Or he longed to see his son and he couldn't? I don't know. All right, let's keep reading. Therefore Absalom sent for Joab to have sent him to the king, but he would not come to him. And when he sent again the second time, he would not come. Therefore he said unto his servant, see, Joab's field is near mine. He hath barely there. Go and set it on fire. Okay, now he's trying to be a gangster. And Absalom's servant set the field on fire. Absalom, big boss Absalom, he turned into a gang member now. He the prettiest gang member. He's already murdered his brother. His story started. And he like, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to, look, y'all going to slide over there like the Warriors. Y'all going to set that field on fire. They going to fill us. He said they going to fill us. Right, 32. And Absalom answered Job, behold, I sent unto thee, saying, come hither, that I may send thee to the king to say, wherefore am I come from Geshur? Basically saying, bro, I just called you. You came and got me from over east. I just called you, bro. to tell you to go ask my dad, what did you take me from my crib? Like, why did you come bring me from over east and bring me to the hundreds if I'm not even finna talk to you? I could have just stayed over east, and you ignore my phone calls, bro. And you ignore my phone calls on purpose, and you're the whole reason I'm over here, bro. I'm finna set your house on fire, bro. We finna light the block up. You tripping? That's how his son talking in modern day times, right? So boom. Then Joab arose. He said, therefore, he sent the servant. Then Joab arose and came into Absalom's house and said to him, wherefore have they servants set my field on fire? So what happened? Break it down. Absalom, David had a son. His son raped his daughter. His daughter was traumatized, went to her brother. Her brother wasn't feeling it. She stayed at her brother's house. Her brother went to the dinner with the royal people, saw his brother, and was like, I got something for you. We on that. Dad, let him slide with us to the store. His dad like, why? He like, Dad, just let me bound my brother at the stove. He tell his homies, we finna knock my brother off. He knocked his brother off. He skipped stays. David is like, oh my gosh. He's come to terms with his son being dead. Then he missing his other son, but low-key don't want to see his other son. And his homie sees his dilemma. So his homie send his girl to come tell David, like, hey, can you do this? Stage in the scene for her to whole time make David think about his situation. David thinks about it. He sees what's going on. He acknowledges his homie, tells his homie, you can go get my son from over east, bring him here, but I ain't trying to talk to him. He go get his son. His son come from over east to the hundreds, and his son sitting there like, you know what? I want to talk to my dad. So he hit up his dad homie a couple times. His dad homie ain't answering. His son is now a gangster and a murderer, so he's mad. He say we from the slide. He go set his house on fire. Now he got his daddy friend attention. His dad slide on him like, why'd you burn up my field? Now he's sitting there telling him, wow. And this was going on. Let's keep reading though. And Absalom answered Joab, behold, I sent it to thee, saying, come hither, that I may send thee to the king to say, wherefore am I come from Gezer? It had been good for me to have been there still. Now, therefore, let me see the king's face. Now he's in full savage mode. Look, I want to see the king. And if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me. He trying to see the king, but he brave now. He like, look, I want to go see the king, bro. And if it's something in me, let him kill me, bro. But y'all not finna keep playing with me. That's how Absalom feeling. So Joab came to the king and told him, and when he had called for Absalom, he came to the king and bowed himself on the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom because he missed his son. All the son wanted to do was talk to his dad. And he couldn't. Obviously, that was anger. To set a man's field on fire, the boy got mad. The boy got angry. We on 15. Let me hit the chat. Yeah, that boy got super mad, bro. He got over mad. My boy Red, glory be to God. Let's keep reading. But yeah, Ammon got angry. Ammon wasn't playing no games. I'm not Ammon. No, we ain't messing with Ammon. We talking about Absalom. Yeah, bro. 15. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared his chariots, he got his forms and his horses, and 50 men to run before him. He got all the guys, all the guys and all the forms outside. Let me stop. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called him to him and said, of what city art thou? And he said, thy servant. He basically asking people where they from, what they is. Absalom, I'm starting to like him. Thy servant is of the tribes of Israel. Absalom said unto him, see, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or case might come unto me, and I would do him justice. And it was so that when any man came not to him to do him obeisance, to bow, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him in a non-sexual way. And on this matter did Absalom to all of Israel that came to the king of judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. Basically, they fell in love with Absalom because he was doing them great. Now, the gangster thing, that's just to bring it into modern day terms, but it seemed like he had a pretty good heart, but he wasn't for none. Like, Absalom was a pretty, like his father. He cared about the people. He cared about his family, but he will kill you. And you're not going to play with him. And he going to speak his mind. Like a normal father-son relationship. His father seen it. And when he seen Absalom, he probably was like, you just so much like me, bro. Like, I just missed you, bro. Like, I thought when I seen you, I was going to be mad. But you steal my creation. Like, you steal mine. Right? Let's keep reading. We're on 2 Samuel 15, verse 7. And it came to pass after 40 years That Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode in Jeshurun in Syria. So that means, I'm glad with the geographics. So that means if you look up the history of Jeshurun in Syria, you can find David's son Absalom. That's evidence of God. That's just because people want to say God don't exist and stuff like that. But if you die, Syria is still there, and the name Syria hasn't changed. So that's the same place that the men of God were at. In the Syria that we know, that's supposed to be terrorist-like and under attack, that place, men of God were, what's the word I'm looking for? Molded. And if you dig deep and do research in that place at Jeshurun, you will find evidence of Jesus, God, in the whole timeline, right? Let's keep reading. Saying, if the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve the Lord. And the king said unto him, go in peace. So he arose and went to Eber. They have a mutual respect for each other now. Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, as soon as you hear the sound of a trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Harab. And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. So now I'm kind of lost on what Absalom doing. If y'all know, let me know in the chat. And Absalom sent forth Ahithophel the Gilonite, David's counselor, from his city, even from Giloth, where he offered sacrifices. And the conspiracy was so strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. It looks like Absalom is trying, he's gaining the love of the people, that's the hearts of the people, gaining the love of the people. And I guess he's trying to make himself king. And the people going to agree with it because they love him. So I guess the people don't know what's going on. But I guess he's trying to, I guess it seemed like he finna finesse it to stage something to make it seem like they're announcing him king in front of everybody. And the people just going to believe it because they love him. Basically, the government trying to mess with the folks. Same thing they do today. Let's keep reading. And there came a measure to David, saying, the hearts of men of Israel are after, basically they're after your son. Verse 14. And David said to all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise and let us flee, for we shall not escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly and bring evil upon us and smite the city. Yes, so it looked like Absalom trying to become the king. Maybe he still is a gangster. He was just playing this whole time. But you can tell it was something to him because he waited so long to kill his brother. But this is just like real life. So Absalom, he's a gangster, bro. And the king's servant said unto the king, behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. You want us to go to war with your son? We good. And the king went forth and all his household after him. And the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. Man, David, that's a lot of women. And the king went forth and all the people after him and tarried in a place that was far off. Verse 18. And all his servants passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, yeah, I got that, and all the Pelethites and the Gideonites, 600 men, which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Ittai the Gittite, wherefore goest thou also with us? Return to thy place and abide with the king, for thou art a stranger and also an exile. Whereas thou camest but yesterday, shall I this day make thee go up and down with us, seeing I go whither I may return? Seeing I go whither I may return thou, and take back thy brethren. Mercy and truth be with thee. I think they put some of these commas at the wrong spot. Okay, 21. And be with thee. And Ittai answered the king and said, as the Lord liveth, and as my lord the king liveth, surely in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, even there will I also be. Even there also will thy servant be. I think when they first found the Bible, it was just like all just one thing just wrote down. So they had to break it into chapters. I think they already had books, but I think they had to break it into chapters, paragraphs, and verses and stuff like that. I don't know if it was always originally wrote like this. So sometimes the flow of reading is different for different people, right? 23, verse 23. And all the country wept with a loud voice, and all the people passed over. The king also himself passed over the brook Kidron, and all the people passed over toward the way of the wilderness. And lo, Zodak also and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God, and they set down the ark of God. And Abithiar went up unto all the people had done passing out of the city. And the king said unto Zodak, carry back the ark of God into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again and show me both it and his habitation. 26, 2 Samuel 15, verse 26. But if he thus say, I have no delight in thee, behold, here I am. Let him do to me as seemeth good unto him. He was a bold little something. A brave, he was fearless. Absalom seemed like a fearless man who was down to do whatever, and he followed his own mind. That's how it's a lot of those out here today. They're gangbangers. It's a lot of Absaloms that went the wrong way. And unto him, the king said also unto Zodak the priest, art not thou a seer? Return to the city in peace, and your two sons with you, Amaziah thy son, and Jonathan the son of Abithar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from you to certify me. Zodak, I'm gonna keep talking about Zodak, and it's literally backwards. Zadok, Zadok, Zadok. I think that might be it. Zadok. That sounds like that'd be it. Hold on, I'm finna Google it. Zadok. I'm finna Google it. Zadok. I think that's Zadok. Zadok. That sounds like that'd be right. Zadok. Let me see. Zadik. Wait, that's an O. Zadok. Duck. It says D-U-H-K. That's how you pronounce it. Let's see. Zadok. All right. Zadok, therefore, and Abithiar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. Verse 30. And David went up by the incident of Mount Olive and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up, weeping as they went up. 31. And David, and one told David, saying, Prithia was among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount where he worshipped God, behold, Hershia the Archite came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head, dirt. Basically, he just fell, got into a scuffle or something. Unto whom David said, if thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's servant hitherto, so will I now also be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. I think I'm on track, but I'm also thinking I'm kind of lost because it's a lot of government coming in right now. So it's a lot of government going against government or trying to overthrow government right now. So I'm trying to connect all of the governments and make sure I got it completely locked and loaded to explain, which I don't at the moment. If I reread it, I will, but just reading it straight, it's kind of blurry, just a little bit. Like I'm confused on who's connected to who, because I know his son, we're just gonna call him Abba. No, we're gonna call him AB. His son AB was in Jeshurun, and he made some deal in Jeshurun, but it's all dealing for the geographic folks. Then mayest thou defeat for me defeat the counselor Ahithophel, right? 35, 2 Samuel 15, verse 35. And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abithiar the priest? Therefore it shall be that what things soever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell it to Zadok and Abithiar the priest. Behold, they have there with them their two sons, Amaziah, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abrid's son, and by them ye shall send unto me everything that ye can hear. So I think this is David trying to have his homie go be a spy, but by basically telling his son, like, I'm your servant. I'm your servant. And yeah. So Hershia, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. 16. I'm hitting the chat. Oh, 2 Samuel 15:01, 40 years. Yep. Went barefoot. Yep. How do I get the chat? I used to be able to have the chat. You can see the chat while I read. I'm trying to see, how did I used to do that? That wasn't it. That's not the right one. That ain't the right one. I'm trying to put the chat. You used to be able to see the chat on the side. I don't know how to. We'll keep reading. And then I want to save some, because we can mess around and finish this whole thing now. But I want to save some to read for later. So we'll probably stop after this 16. We got some good morning food. 16. And when I'm liking this story though. I can't wait to bring it to life. There go my cousin. Look, y'all. There go my cousin commenting on the song. He's saying, got this on repeat. It's the same one that was just frustrating me this morning over this dog. But I love you, cousin. Much love. It's always love. 16. And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Meshobeth, met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread and 100 bunches of raisins and 100 of summer fruits and a little bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, what meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, the asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine, that's such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. Now, I've never experienced that. I never experienced like being faint and then drinking and feeling better. I've never experienced that, right? But I know some people that have. When I used to drink, it was just to drink, really. I just drunk. Yeah, that was it. May drink, right? 16 verse 3. The king said, and where is thy master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, behold, he abideth at Jerusalem, for he said, today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Ziba, is that Jonathan's son, or am I tweaking? Is that the one who's lame in both his feet? Is that Ziba? See, this is why it's important to write down who is who and where they from and who they came from. Because Ziba. Well, let's keep reading. Then said the king to Ziba, behold, verse 4. Then said the king to Ziba, behold, thine are all that pertain unto Meshibboeth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I may find grace in thy sight, my lord, O king. And when King David came to Barium, behold, thence came out of a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. I guess he was cursing David out. He was cursing David out across the country. He was cursing David out across the street, and he was cursing David out walking up to him. I guess what that means. He cursed still and cursed still as he came, or maybe he himself was cursed. But it said he cast stones at David and all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man. Yeah, I guess he was out there tweaking. I guess he was outside his house like, man, come outside, boy. Oh, bro. he throwing rocks at his windows. I'm guessing that's what's going on. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm taking it, right? He telling him, come outside, David. Come out. I got time today. The Lord hath returned, verse 8. The Lord hath returned upon thee all the blood of thy house of Saul, in whom stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. So yeah, he's tweaking. He's outside letting off. That's like if I'm in here and I hear y'all hear somebody else have, Polo, you come outside, you filthy man. Like, I guess that's what he out there doing. Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah unto the king, why should this dead curse my lord the king. I read the verse already in my head. That's why I'm laughing. He said, let me go over, I pray thee, and take his head off. So that's like me and my homies in here. You hear somebody outside talking crazy. My homie like, bro, why is this goofy outside talking crazy like this? I'm finna go outside and pop him. Like, that is literally it's so crazy how real the Bible is and how much of our life it is still playing out. Like, only thing that changes the weapons, the mindset, and the surroundings, bro, and the technology. But it's the same format, man. The world has to understand this, or those who have ears to hear got to understand your life is literally this. Because that's literally what's going on. He got this man outside talking crazy. His homie like, I'm finna go take care of that. Like, these are facts, right? Verse 10. In the King, 2 Samuel 16, verse 10, for those following on their own book. We on verse 10. And the king said, what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zariah? So let him curse, because the Lord have said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so? So David like, look, if God told him to come over here and talk crazy, let that boy speak, man. Right? And David said to Asher, to all his servants, behold, my son which came forth of my bowels seeketh my life. Now, I guess that threw David for a loop, but probably not, because your son's a murderer. It's like he not blood. I'm not making it seem like he's bloodthirsty, but he's a gangster now. After he killed his brother, that's his villain story. His sister got raped and stayed in his house. He had to see her traumatized. She probably whole time low-key eerie of him, because he the best looking one. She the best looking one. Ammon had to be ugly. he had to look in. You know? But verse 11, seeketh my life, how much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. So David like, look, I got a bunch of ops right now, one of them being my son. He's nothing new, man. If God sent him over here to do this, let him do what he's gonna do. Right? 12. It may be that the Lord will look on my affliction and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. I guess he's saying that God might kill him today. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along the hillside over against him and cursed as he went. And threw stones at him and cast dust. So I guess he was following David around. I guess if he had a car, he'd be chasing him in the car, yelling with a microphone, like, David! And they throw a rock out the car, man. It's crazy what's going on, bro. This sounds like road rage. It sounds like he got road rage. Let's keep reading. Right? And he cast dust. They throwing dirt, rocks, pencils, pebbles. They trying to get David. They trying to get David out of there. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves. I'll be weary too. This man screaming at me all day, throwing rocks. That's crazy. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem and Ahithophel with them. Now, Ahithophel, I'm trying to see what is his role. Like, I think I didn't miss it, but I think I just might have just went past it. Like, who is that? Who is he? But 16, and it came to pass when Hushai, I like that name, Hushai, the archite, David's friend, what's that? Any of y'all know what this is? We on verse 16, 2 Samuel 16. Archite. I'm finna, we Googling it, my friends. His archite. What archite means? Archite, a native archite, a commune or town in the province. No, man. What is an archite? It's saying architecture. What is an archite? An archite. Here go, y'all. It's an occupation. It's a job. An archite. Hold on. We need the pronunciation too. But it says an architect is a person who plans, design. Architect. How did I miss that? Why am I sitting up here playing games? Like I don't know what an architect is. But this doesn't say architect. This says archite, but I guess that is an architect. I guess that's an architect. Y'all, I'm finna hit the chat. What y'all think? Yo, Sister Felicia, how you feeling? Y'all help me out. What is an archite? I don't know. I'm trying to see. What is this? Archite. Hold on. We're going full screen. We're going full screen. Because I'm confused. Not confused, but I want to know what is an archetype. Like, what significance is that? So when I typed it in, I said, what is a, hold on. Yeah, I typed this in. The usual designation. Is this a place? The usual designation of he was the king's friend, who was a native of Archai. I guess this is a type of people. Who were the Archites in the Bible? They were a Canaanite. Oh, so this is not like a job. Scratch that job thing that I just said. I guess they're a type of, they're like what they call Indians, Chinese, Mexicans, blacks, Africans. So it's not none of them. It's an Archite. Oh, bro, he's an Archite. Okay, so I see what they're saying. Ethnicity, to keep it simple. They speaking on ethnicity. Okay. I'm glad we got that cleared up because I didn't want to get confused. All right, so ethnicity, we're going back to regular screen. All right, so yeah, we got that down. That basically means that's what he is. That's like his ethnicity, right? So, and it came to pass when Husha the Archite, the African, the Mexican, the Chinese man, whatever, David's friend was come, and there has to be some significance because I don't know how David and the Archites, what their relationship was. So for them to mention what he was and that he's David's friend, that got to have some significance. Y'all can mark that if y'all want to. Let's keep reading 2 Samuel 16:16 right here. And it came to pass when Hushai, the Archite, David's friend, was coming to Absalom, that's David's friend going to his son, okay, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king, God save the king. Talking to his son. And Absalom said to Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why winnest thou not with thy friend? So his son, this is David's son. He ain't no goofy. And now he think he a governmental gangster. So he's like, bro, is this the kind of, like, is this the loyalty you showed to my father? Like, why you didn't go with my dad? And Hushai said to Absalom, nay, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his will. Yeah, like this comma shouldn't be right here. If y'all see what I'm saying, this comma right here, it shouldn't be right there. It should be, and Hushai said unto Absalom, yeah, that comma's right. Nay, that's right. But whom the Lord and this people, they should have just left that a run-on sentence. But whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, comma, his will I be, comma, and with him will I abide. They probably didn't want to, but yeah, that's how it should be read. And Hushai said unto Absalom, nay, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, comma, his will I be, comma, and with him will I abide. That's how that should have been formatted. But you know, I'm not a teacher, or not this type anyway. 19, and again, whom should I serve? So basically, David homie telling him, like, whoever God chooses, whose side I'm on. No respect to persons. Bro, if God chose his granddaughter, I'm with the granddaughter. That's basically what he's saying, right? And again, wait, pause. Y'all let me know if I skip something. Did God choose his son, or is this still his son trying to make it seem like God chose him? Because I think that's what's going on. I don't remember seeing God chose Absalom, even though he did say he was going to use his family to get at David. But I don't think God chose Absalom to be king. I think they're just saying that they're going off of the people in, I think it's Israel or Jerusalem. They love David's son, and he gained the hearts of men. So I think they're using that as fuel to say God want him to be king, right? I think that's what's going on, right? Okay, let's keep reading. And again, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son, as I served in the Father's presence? So will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Amtham, give counsel among you what we shall do. And Amtham said to Absalom, go in unto thy father's concubines, which he have left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong. Is he telling him to have sexual encounter with the concubines? That's 7 women. I mean, that's 10 women, bro. It's crazy. I don't know. I could be wrong. 22. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. What do y'all think that means? I think. Well, how do y'all take that? I'm thinking. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house. Tents have openings, but they put him a tent. Like, why would you put him a tent? This has to be a sexual encounter, because why would you need a tent if y'all not finna get down, right? They spread him a tent on top of the house. That's like if somebody put a tent on top of your house, and Absalom went in into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. So I guess all of Israel is watching Absalom go to town with his father's concubines. This is a weird, like this is a different. Their whole government is crazy. It's like very out there, man. Them boys is about business. All right, let's get the last verse in. And the counsel of Antipas, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the counsel of Athaliah, both with David and with Absalom. All right, Lord, I was left a little lost at the end of that. When we on 17, Lord and Heavenly Father, we praise and thank you. All we have read has taken deep root into our heart and uprooted wicked things in our heart and in our brain and in our desires, and has filled those with more of Christ's wisdom, more of Christ's knowledge, more of Christ's interpretation, intelligence, more of Christ's understanding, revelation, more of Christ's character, more of Christ's personality, more of Christ's mindset, more of Christ's obedience here on earth as it is in heaven, and that it is manifested more in our flesh, more in our fruit, more in our mind, more in our desires, more in our walk, more now than a second ago, more today than yesterday, more when we awake than when we went to sleep, and every time our heart beat, and we praise and thank you that the word is not only getting our minds and our hearts in subjection, but the flesh and our whole being in subjection to your word, your will, your way, and it is being shown in every way you allow it to be. In Jesus' mighty name, we thank you. Amen. Right? The 17. I'm finna get the side of this chat. Hold on, because we're going to YouTube. Y'all, that's crazy. It's gonna be even crazier when I put it into effect. When I capture it, it's gonna hit hearts. It's gonna hit hearts. Bag. Y'all see Bag up there? Y'all got any song requests? Lord, just take this pen away from me so you can right my wrongs. I can't do this on my own. Lord, I'm only flexible. All right. You gotta put this armor on. Guard your heart and guard your dome. I ain't gonna lie. No, we're going back to Dre Page. We're going back. Hold on. Let me see what song he talking about. He got on repeat. I own my life. Thank you, cousin. You need to come over here and read with me, man. Talking about that dog. All right. Why they bringing up Dr. Dre? Who y'all? Dre got some music he working on too. Everybody go irritate Dre. Tell him to come back to the booth. Bro. Go frustrate him and tell him let's go. Grateful. Oh no, I like this one. I could fly. But this right my wrongs, that was hard. Yeah. 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 I know that I can fly, even though I got no wings attached. Got God on my side, but I hear the world calling me back. A lot of pain inside. It's so hard just to hold the tears back. Every day I want to cry. But I already did that. But when I sit back and meditate on the goodness of the Lord, that's when he started to feel the void. That's when my heart is filled with joy. But only his sheep can hear his voice. Every person breathing must make a choice. I can't wait till the day that the saints rejoice. I can't wait till the day that the saints rejoice. I know it ain't no time for lack and I gotta stay focused. I need to fast and pray, get the spirit in motion. All that sin that you in is the devil's ocean. And he gon' make you drown if you just floating. Yeah, he gon' take you down if you just joking. When you walking in the light, the darkness can't comprehend. You gotta shine bright with your light, don't let it dim. The spirits we invite in our life, they come to kill, still destroy. Voices in your head steady keeping up noise. Seeing unseen things since I was a little boy. I'm set apart.
Circumcised in the heart, but got apart. No, I'm a lion, got a roar, and that's for sure. No, I'm an eagle, let me soar. Blessed the Lord, but I know I gotta wait to see what's in store. Love is patient, I promise you it's never forced.
Well, of course,
even in the hoopty, even in the Porsche, I gotta stay humble before the Lord. Let him order my step, I pray he order yours. And lead you to the kingdom to claim your reward. No eyes seen, no ears heard. Go look it up, it's in the word. The sheep is scattered, Lord, lead the herd. You gotta pray, even if
this is what he's saying. Listen, no matter
how hard that it get, I know that I will be okay, cause God in the midst.
make sure you know I love you, though we argue a bit. The devil can't break us.
Even if we fold, I know the Lord will reshape us. I can't let you even get the best of me. You gotta die to yourself just to rest in peace. When God stepped in, the devil gotta release. He know he headed to the pit, so he gotta deceive. Move away from that sin, just back up and leave. Understand that his blood is the only relief. We know that Jesus on his way, but he gon' come like a thief. So we gotta get it right, cause the axe the tree. I said the axe of the tree. We gotta get it right, yeah, we gotta get it right, cause the axe of the tree.
Yes, Sirski. Yeah. And that's how it go, man. After we finish the Old Testament, we get into the official Bible reading. And what I mean by official is we're going to have a whole intro. This is going to attract kids, teens, growns, senior citizens. And, you know, if there's somebody alive from the 1700s, they might join and watch too. But the goal is to make this as attractive as possible, to keep the people's attention, but to make it as real as possible. We're going to dissect every version, everywhere. I'm already knowing I have warfare coming. I know this. So pray for me as I'm being wiser and praying for myself and acknowledging devices. But we're getting the word out of there, and we're getting as much as Christ will allow us to understand, as simply as he'll allow us to understand. That's the goal, to teach it to children. Make it sound exciting, because it is exciting. Like, this is really crazy. Like, David and his whole family, that whole thing. If that was happening in real life, one of these famous pastors, y'all would not even want to have nothing to do with God, especially if God was still behind this person. I promise a whole lot of people to change their mind. A lot of people just accept it because it's on paper, but when it's in real life, they got a different type of mentality towards it. But we'll talk about that later. I'll see y'all later when we hop back on and finish this. We're going to leave off with my boy Red, 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Glory be to God. We back forever, always. Blessing. Shout out to my boy Bag. Yes, sir. And y'all go irritate Dre and GCP and tell them boys to get back on camera. Well, no. Tell GCP, get back on camera. Tell Dre, get back in the booth and irritate them until God changed their heart. Glory be to God. Much love. I'm finna drop. And that's it. Yes, sir, Ski. Goodbye. Much love.